guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackey and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Write this down. Write it down. You like writing things down.
Write that down. I don't have a pencil.
Well, remember that down.
Write this down.
Yes, this is the season finale accountability session from the 2023-24 Write That Down season, and the season premiere of predictions for the 2024-25 Write That Down season, boys. We just got done recording the Purple Daily versions of this, where we celebrated Declan as a dual champion, completion percentage champion, and also a touchdown champion on Purple Daily. The first ever category sweep in the 3-year history of Purple Daily. Write that down.
Thank you.
Congratulations to Dex. And we'll see if Judd can hang on to his batting title lead here in the OG edition. And then we'll also sort out the home run leader here. But are you guys ready for the season finale accountability session?
Yes, absolutely. Are you kidding?
Okay.
And not as confident as I was going into PD. You know, I wasn't cutting up extra highlights for this one like I was for Purple Daily, for my own just self-deprecating, self-appreciation, a person that I am. But I'm excited to get my swing back on track on it. I'm looking forward to 2024 now. Now I'm on to the next season.
Yeah, I feel like you and I found some things in our swings down the stretch, you know, but
That
like
helps.
the season was kind of lost because,
yeah,
you know, the first half.
This is like a Chris Parmalee September call up where I'll like, oh, maybe there's a player here, or maybe I just was a quad
Chris
A player
Colabello.
that just got hot for the last month of the year.
Calabello.
The cowbell. Let's go.
Cowbell. I mean, PEDs. Well, yeah, I mean,
Who needs them?
Oh, man. So here's how Write That Down works if you're new here. We've been doing this, the OG version, for like 7 years, I want to say, maybe 8. There's predictions that go back to 2015 in our old database. So that's how far back this goes. 3 predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. We keep track of batting averages and home runs. And if you want to be a guest listener participant like the other Thor is, a multi-time predictor, you can send Declan a message through the Score North app. Let's start with Judd here, as we always do on the accountability session. See how you did. Okay. Took a little damage.
Okay. Yep.
Took a little damage.
Yep.
Yeah. You said Royce Lewis will do a bobblehead. He'll get a bobblehead at Target Field next season. They sent out the list of bobbleheads. It's not going to include Royce.
It's bat day.
A bat. I could go to bat for Judd here and say maybe they'll do a special launch though, right? Like, could they add a Royce Lewis
ticket
bobblehead?
Well, there will be a season ticket one that will go to season ticket holders that we don't know yet.
Oh yeah, I think the 2 people that pester me the most for my season ticket abilities aren't just the Minnesota Twins local rep, but also Judd Zulgad to use my season ticket holder status to get bobbleheads like I did in 2022.
And you got me Big Bird.
I did get you Big Bird.
But I had to go on the black market to find the Polanco one.
Like the Sesame Street Big Bird?
Yeah, they
it's a
did
great
a
one.
Sesame Street night at Target Field or something, and I got Judd a Big Bird. I was
And
like,
hold
you
on.
want this?
Yep.
I don't want to turn this into like a Family Guy skit, but can you both say that name one more time?
Big Bird.
Declan, say it.
Big Bird.
Judd.
Big Bird.
So I say it like Declan does, which is Big Bird. But
Big
Judd
Bird.
says Big Bird. He puts the emphasis on bird.
Oh,
I put it on big throughout my
Big.
childhood.
Big.
Is it
Yeah.
Big.
is it big is it Big Bird or is it Big Bird?
Big Bird.
Big
I have
Bird.
I have no idea.
Big Bird? Big Bird.
I'm a big Bert and Ernie guy personally. Big Bird was just kind of okay for me. I love Bert and Ernie. Also, there are some I watched them with my nephews a few months ago. I got teary-eyed. I had tears in my eye when one of them like welcomed a baby sister. I was emotional watching Sesame Street. Just
thinking back to your own childhood, or what kind of?
it was just so sweet, and the big brother was so scared to be a big brother to a little sister, and the sister comes into his life, and he just protects her and helps her. And I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna start getting emotional talking about it. I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. I can't talk about. People know the episode I'm talking about of Sesame Street too.
Send us a link. We'll.
I always enjoyed Sesame Street.
Last night I started watching because we were going over on one of our shows yesterday. I think it was Purple Daily, the all-time most watched TV programs in U.S. history, and like 49 of the top 50 are Super Bowls or something. But we took the Super Bowls off the list, and there was that ABC movie from 1983 called The Day After, where it's like a nuclear holocaust, and 100 million people in the U.S. sat and watched that movie on ABC.
Yep.
I started watching it. I'm like 2/3 of the way into that movie on YouTube right now. Holy crap, dude.
Yeah,
That movie is terrifying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was a big deal. And at that time, I feel like the threat of nuclear war, much more real.
Yeah, early 80s. Oh, yeah.
There is a threat of it now, but I mean, the Cold War with Russia and the fear that the Russians were going to nuke us or vice versa. Yeah, that movie scared a lot of people.
Dude. Yeah, that was. Anyhow,
anyway.
Okay, Judd, you said there will be a credible story at the end of the NFL season, or by the end of the NFL season. That's, well, you said at, so that Skip Bayless is unhappy with his role on Fox Sports 1. I have not seen anything.
I agree with you. I think once he got Shannon fired, it was weird though, because I thought the whole thing with Richard Sherman shouting him down and stuff would cause problems.
I think he likes it.
Yeah, and I just don't watch it.
Nick Wright's the star of that network. It's not even close.
Oh, on the afternoon show, right?
Yeah, Nick Wright's the best.
Nick Wright,
Yeah, he's doing
if you go look, he used to be a popular local radio host in like Houston for a while, and Kansas City is where he's from. And he used to have like a shaved head, and he was if he has completely morphed into this caricature on TV with the long hair.
Shaved head?
It's great.
Oh yeah. Go look up like Nick Wright 2012, 2013.
Well, even when he first joined FS1, I think he had a shaved head.
He did.
He looks the glow up, if you will, of Nick Wright has been
He's
incredible.
got great hair now.
Yeah, great hair.
But like, why was he hiding that hair from the world for so long? I mean, I have some hair. I shave my head out of convenience because I don't have great hair.
Good for you.
He has great hair. Like he just shaved his head.
Good question.
I don't know. Judd, you also said the Yankees and Mets will have new managers in 2024. Aaron Boone, to this point, has not been fired, and they're reporting. So
I am shocked.
He's safe.
And then you said the Wolves would acquire a guard currently on an NBA roster before the trade deadline, Monte Morris. There you go. Okay. Nice little week for me to close out the season here. Huh?
Boy.
Very nice.
A guy that was hitting like 150 at the halfway mark of the season here. Huh? Yeah, Chris Parmalee, Chris Colabella.
Found your swing.
So I said, we'll start with the bad. Anthony Edwards will drop 40 in the first 3 quarters of a game by the end of the Write That Down season. He had 40 last night, but not in the first 3 quarters.
Oh, okay.
Playing on a bad knee, too, which I think is a little bit concerning.
And pressured by Mike Conley to play on that bad knee. You're not that sore. Play.
Yeah. Skip the All-Star game, man.
I said the 49ers would win the Super Bowl back in like October.
Oh, God.
I told you Joe Montana would be shown on camera. Current day Joe Montana shown on camera during the Super Bowl. He was waving to the crowd.
Mm-hmm. Early.
Said Mike Zimmer would be the new defensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys. The Wolves would acquire a player by the trade deadline who has shot at least 40% from three-point land in a season at some point. Monte Morris did about 5 years ago.
Impressive comeback.
Yeah, very nice.
Yep.
Very nice.
And then I think this one was specific enough of all the options. I gave you 2 names, so we're counting this as a home run. Okay. The Wolves would acquire at least one of these 2 players, Royce O'Neal or Monte Morris. Boom. Hey, feeling good going into the new season here.
Yeah.
Got the swing right. Okay, listeners, we'll start with the bad. Cole said Cat would be traded to the Knicks or the Trailblazers. So the way that we usually do these, he said this before last summer, and we usually give those predictions through the next trade deadline to come to fruition so they don't just sit on the board for the rest of, Cat's career. Mm-hmm. So that one is coming off the board here incorrect. How about this one? Jonathan Harrison, our old producer on the radio show, on the old Mackey and Judd radio show from 5 years ago, said the 2025 Super Bowl will be played in London. It'll be played in New Orleans.
And he is still in Royce's phone as contact in case of emergency. Nobody knows why.
Hilarious, man.
And Royce never fixed it.
So didn't Pat fat thumb the emergency SOS button last week too?
Yes.
So Jonathan got a.
I never did ask.
Pat okay?
Did he get from New Prague to Fort Myers?
I came as fast as I could. Oh man. And then Mike said one of the four major men's sports teams, the Wolves, out of the four major men's sports teams, the Wolves will be the first team to advance in the playoffs out of the four. Well, the Twins actually became the first to advance.
Yep.
That should have come off the board a few months ago. And then Stewart comes in. He came in last week or 2 weeks ago and said Tom Grossi, that crazy comedian Packers fan YouTube guy, will win NFL Fan of the Year. He was a finalist up for NFL Fan of the Year, and he did indeed win NFL Fan of the Year. Tom Grossi.
Way to go.
Nice job. And then, Declan, you had two things come off the board. You said the Wild would win by multiple goals against the Blackhawks. Only 2-1. They only won that game.
And
Terrible.
talk about like one shot on goal through the first half of that entire game.
Yeah, and it was 125-foot shot.
God, hockey is so dumb sometimes.
And then you said Scotty Scheffler would shoot at least 15 under par at the Waste Management Open.
I think
did.
Sunday or Saturday, whatever the last day, this was not tracking to hit, and I think he had a monster final round that pushed him over.
Yeah, he kind of. I think he struggled with the conditions.
He did struggle a bit.
The beer showers.
So did the drunk fans.
Oh God,
they're going to make some major changes to that sucker for next year.
Yeah, so Kyle Tigey, our Flagrant Howls guy, was out there on Friday. I think he said, "Yep, they jumped the shark with that event." I think it's probably the right time. So congratulations. This is kind of a victory lap we've seen coming for 2 or 3 months. Judd Zolgad, the 2023 write that down batting champion.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
I got my silver slugger bat.
Nice job, Judd. And then congratulations to me for winning the home run battle. That's right. 15 home runs, leading the league.
And
all I care about is power.
Dude, you almost caught Declan an average.
Dude, I had
You did. You had a great second half.
So close. So, yeah, the final standings are Judd 321, Declan 293, Ol Macadac 289, listeners 261. And then I finished with 15 homers, listeners with 13, Declan with 11, and Judd with 10 home runs on the season. So congratulations to really everyone for just a fun write that down year.
Participation trophies.
Yeah. For the all-time stats, Declan, 360 batting average, Judd, 327. I'm at 271 all-time. Listeners at 261. Judd has 308 hits. I have 253. Declan, listeners 230. Declan 205. Listeners 55 home runs. I have 46 all-time. Judd with 37 and Declan with 36. So there you go. That's the end of the 2023-24 Write That Down season. And now we go into the 2024-25 season with the other Thor making his return as a guest listener predictor. What's going on, the other Thor? How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm good to be glad to be here. It's interesting. I'm the leadoff hitter here for this season. It's
week
one. A little bit of pressure,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, man.
all rolling.
Yeah, you're gonna be leading off, setting the tone for the season here. Remind us, you've given us your background as a Minnesota sports fan, I guess, but tell us again, when did you become a Minnesota sports fan, and what's on your mind right now going into the Write That Down season?
So I grew up in Minnesota. I've been a sports fan for as long as I can remember. I think the Twins were sort of my first team back in like the early 2000s. Really got hooked on the Vikings, kind of 2009. A lot of people say that one. I was actually at the Blackhawks game, the Wild game the other day. Yeah, I'm just excited to get it going here. Somebody did it the other day. They did sort of a long-term prediction, kind of a midterm prediction, and a short-term one. I kind of like that. So we're gonna
model after them. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So, well, let's start with the other Thor here, and then we'll go around the room to Judd, Declan, and back to me. The other Thor, you've got the first plate appearance of the season, so fire away.
Cool. Alrighty, write this down. The four major Minnesota sports teams will have an average win percentage greater than the average of their last full seasons. So, for example, Twins were 85-77, good for a .537 percentage. Vikings 7-10. I picked the Wild and the Wolves last full season. Okay, so the Wild, I did 46-36. They had those overtime losses, counted those as losses. add up all those winning percentages, take the average of it, and the average was 506.
Okay.
So for the full next seasons, it's going to be greater than 506.
Okay. And we're just, and so it's not the games weighing it, it's just the percentages weighing it. Right. So they're weighed equally. Okay.
Yeah. So the Vikings probably have the most pull, right? If they would have won another game or two, then their win percentage shifts a little bit more than maybe the Twins with a couple wins. But
okay. The other Thor kicking us off here.
Write this down.
Judd.
The Minnesota Twins will trade for or sign a starting pitcher who will be part of their opening day rotation this month. So it's going to come, or I should say before opening day. So February into March, opening day is late March. So before then, the Twins will trade for or sign a starting pitcher who will then be part of that opening day rotation.
It does feel like there's no way you can go in with like Varland and DeSclafani as the
more I thought about our conversation with Royce this morning, and we have certainly brought this up before, you know, the real GM of this team is the guy playing shortstop. And the guy playing shortstop is a Scott Boras client. And as we've talked about, Scott Boras has a bunch of clients who aren't signed, including Snell.
And I'll tell you, last summer, I told you guys.
That's a phone call. Makes sense.
I don't do a lot of reporting on the Twins front anymore, but once in a while, tap into those connections, right? And I was told last summer before the deadline, Carlos Correa was like actively bringing names and pitching to the Twins front office, pushing them, make a trade for a pitcher, do this, do that.
But, you know, if you're Snell, at some point in time, you just aren't going to get the bag. And if you come here, have a good year, and then the RSN problem a year from now is cleared up a bit more.
Maybe maybe by then it's like, there's a windfall. Half the teams have agreed with Amazon or something.
It makes a lot of sense.
You don't need the bag. Just get a bag. We'll get you a bag, a Dior bag from Carlos.
I was down at a wormhole of Blake Snell stats on Blake Snell stats. That's fun to say.
Like
5 times fast.
Blake Snell
stats. On Baseball Savant yesterday. And even though he doesn't like pitch deep into games, he has some walk problems for sure. His stuff is disgusting. Like his curveball, like no one can hit his curveball. He has a good fastball. Like I would love Blake Snell in this rotation.
Let's make it happen, Carlos.
Write this down.
Make a call, Carlos. All right, Dex.
I have a similar one to Judd that I'll shelve because I'm still trying to get the right wording on it. But I will write this one down and potentially snipe Phil Mackey from this one. Karl Anthony Towns will win the 3-point competition this weekend.
Oh.
Second time?
Involved in the 3-point comp. He's won it before. Karl Anthony Towns will win the 3-point competition on All-Star Weekend.
Yeah, I haven't seen if there's like odds on this, but he's probably one of the 2 favorites. And he did win it, a few years ago, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He's won.
Okay, you know what, Dex? I'll go with this one.
Write this down.
Anthony Edwards will win the skills competition.
I like it.
He's super competitive. I think he's going to take it really seriously. They've got a team of first overall picks, and then they have a team of just Pacers, and then there's a third team of something. I know Judd would prefer that he just like kicks his feet up, wraps them in bubble wrap. No.
Actually, you know what? No. Go to a beach. Saltwater therapy for our guy.
Write this down.
Instead, he's going to win the skills competition. Okay, back to the other Thor, your second prediction.
Who's doing the dunk contest, by the way? I haven't even seen any.
Did they send a list out? How long has it been? How many years since you've heard of someone in the dunk contest? That's the question.
The last cool thing, I think, was when Spud Webb won the dunk contest.
What? That's not true. Vince Carter putting his whole arm in the rim.
That's true.
Dwight Howard jumping over a Kia.
2016 with Gordon and Levine was incredible. Like that one was awesome
Didn't Blake Griffin win it one year by jumping over a car?
Yeah,
he may have. Yeah,
I didn't like that at all.
Of course not.
That's stupid. That's very dangerous.
What? We've had a couple highlights since Spud Webb back like 40 years ago, but yeah. Here's the slam dunk contest. Or wait, have they not announced names for this yet?
I don't know. They've announced it.
NBA AT&T.
I thought some star players were threatening to take part. I thought I saw a headline.
Oh, Jaylen Brown.
Okay, yeah, that's what Jaylen Brown. That's what I read. Yep.
Okay, he's the headliner, and then there's a couple like Mac McClung from the G League is going to be in it. He's the defending champion. Yeah. He's in the G League, and he's going to be defending his championship. Yeah. Anyways, okay.
Alrighty, my prediction. So I don't know if you guys saw the Twins announced yesterday they're going to unveil their City Connect uniforms this year.
Yeah.
So write this down. The Twins City Connect jerseys will have light blue in them. I don't know if it's going to be the main color, but I think they're going to throw some light blue in there, which I would love. I loved the light blue ones from a couple years ago.
I love that idea. Yes. Yeah.
But we'll see. I don't know. Those jerseys are really, really hit or miss. So we'll see what happens with those.
Little baby blue.
Write this down. Big time though. Like there are some great ones, and there are some ones where you're just like, what were they even thinking?
Yep.
Like,
yep.
Don't do drugs and then design these things. All right.
Don't do drugs.
I mean, no. So some of them look like the marketing people dropped acid, and then I was like, let's do this. Like really, really bizarre. Write this down. All right. Matt Boldy will score 3 or more goals before next week's Write That Down. Now, the Wild has 4 games starting tonight. Arizona, Buffalo on Saturday, Vancouver on Monday, and then the Jets, I think, on Tuesday night. So it's not like a huge prediction of, oh my God, there's 2 games. But he will score 3 or more goals. He's played since he basically gave no effort against the Blackhawks. He definitely got a talking to, and he's played great. My guess is it's going to continue for a little while. So 3 or more goals by next week's Write That Down, which is 4 games.
Okay, let's go Boldy. Let's make it happen, guy. Come on. Put some pucks on net. Get some pucks in deep.
Pucks deep.
Cycle some pucks around. Okay. Put the biscuit in the basket.
Yeah, shoot the puck.
Come on, guy. Here we go.
Write this down.
Declan.
All right, write this down. I'm going to make a similar one to Judd, but I want not just a pitcher. I kind of want a hitter because I think they could actually maybe still get a right-handed bat here. So I just have the Twins will acquire another established Major League player in the month of February. So I'm just giving you the next 2 weeks.
Oh,
okay.
Established, I don't know. I think we'll like Bubba Thompson wouldn't count as established, obviously. I don't want to get burned by the specific nature of saying, like 150 games for a hitter, but then, 100 games for a pitcher and he's only pitched 95 times or something. So I might need some help with quantifying how I want to do this.
Just you got to throw like a baseline or a number out. You're saying so you're trying to quantify established. Just throw like a number of career innings or something.
Okay, I'll do 150 games for a hitter and 200 innings for a pitcher. How about that? I'll just do that.
So they've existed in the major.
They've existed. They've pitched. Yeah, I was gonna do service time, but then I realized no, that gets even way more confusing with service time. So I was like, nope, I'm confusing myself.
They will be at least 3.5 years of service time.
Or they've had 3 years in the big leagues, but only counts to like 2.5 years of. So I was just like, nope, not going down.
They were a
road.
super 2 back in
baseball. You buffoons.
Okay, write this down. So Monte Morris has only hit 3 3-pointers all season so far. He's the new Wolves backup point guard. But, he's only played in 1, 2, 3, 4. He's only played in 8 games. So here's my prediction. So they've got the game against Portland, and then there's the All-Star break, right? So I guess write this down. Between now and 2 write that downs from now. So between now and February 28th, Monte Morris will hit at least 3 threes in a game. I want this to be a home run. So he's hit only 3 3-pointers in his first 8 games. He will hit at least 3 3-pointers in a singular game in the next 2 weeks, even with the All-Star break mixed in for a week. All right? Okay. Write it down.
Write this down.
Write her down. Okay, the other Thor, what's your third and final prediction?
All righty. So the Vikings, this is what I found. Okay, they have 18 total draft picks over the next 2 years. Declan, maybe you can look that up for me.
Yeah.
Write this down. By the end of this year's NFL draft, the Vikings will have less picks over those next 2 seasons than they entered with. So the spirit of the prediction being that they're going to trade more of their own picks than they'll receive back. Okay. So, I mean, if they trade up, trade 3 draft picks, but then they trade back and acquire 4 more in the 7th round, then could get a little dicey. But so if they pick, 8 or 9 guys this year and they only have 7 picks next year, then they'd have like less picks than they did.
Okay. We good? Are we clear on that, Dex?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Good stuff here. The other Thor making his return here. Since you've got this platform again, this life-changing platform, who in your life would you like to thank today?
Still my family, my friends. Can I throw out a reckless speculation Twins nugget real quick?
Please do, yeah.
Reckless speculation.
So I'd be interested in getting credit for bringing these names to the table. You know, it's similar to how Judd was the first person to bring the Polanco trade stuff to the table.
Mm-hmm.
But it's what my sources are saying, all right? So a couple guys to keep an eye on. It's like obviously Lorenzen and Syndergaard have kind of been the two that you're kind of hearing about. But Hyun-Jin Ryu from the Blue Jays is a free agent. Coming off an injury. It's perfect for the Twins. And then Brandon Woodruff, too, is a free agent. He's going to be out for all of this year probably, but he's got you'd sign him a 2 or 3 year deal. He's only 30-some years old, and he's got really good stuff. So I'd be interested in that. And then the other two guys, they would probably cost you like a Brooks Lee or something, but be like Shane Bieber and Dylan Cease. I know the White Sox.
Ooh.
Sox are trying to trade Cease.
Yep.
Apparently the Orioles, I thought I saw the Orioles gave him the same trade that they got for Burns, and the White Sox said no. So
Interesting.
might cost you a lot. But
Well, on the Woodruff front too, didn't they do that same thing with Michael Pineda like 5 years
Yeah.
ago, or they signed him to rehab him and then
Mhm.
and it worked out, and then he got suspended. But
Yeah, mostly worked out.
it's a pretty good pitcher.
Come on.
Mhm.
Okay,
That's
So
good
I
reckless
like it.
speculation, though. I like that a lot.
it's very good stuff. Nice work, the other Thor. Thanks for coming on again, man. We'll see you again.
Yeah.
Making this
All right, I'll
prediction.
see you guys later.
All right, dudes. Before we make our final predictions here, a shout out to Zero Res, helping deep clean people's homes all across the Score North universe. We should start calling it that, like the WWE calls their fans the WWE universe, the Score North-averse, Score North universe. Don't do it yourself. You're probably not going to clean it very well. Anyways, Zero Res, a bunch of professionals will come in, and they will, when you ask for the Score North special, they will deep clean 3 rooms. They will Zero Resify those 3 rooms, starting at just $119 and a free hallway kicked in as well. And this month, take $75 off when you get your air ducts Zero Res clean. Call 952-0-RES or go to ZeroResMinnesota.com and say you want the Score North special. Spell it forward or backwards, it spells the same. Score North Universe, Zero Res. All right.
Write this down.
Judd, your third and final prediction.
All right. I hate to do this because it's negative, and I hate to. I mean,
You hate to be
a
negative,
positive
right?
guy by
Totally.
nature, and I know
Totally.
that the viewers and listeners know that, but I feel like there's a little bit too much confidence, bordering on cockiness, when it comes to the Twins. So write this down. Byron Buxton will be placed on the injured list before June 1st. Wow. I feel like there's an air. I feel like
June
there's
1st, that's pretty likely.
but I feel like there's this, like, it's gonna work. Like no one's talking about yet. Like, yeah, it might be a couple times a week he can play. It's just like, well, no, he's gonna play center now. Now we'll probably find out more as spring training starts about that actual plan. But I don't know, man. It seems like such a long shot that he can just go back to playing center. And yeah, he had a surgery, but it's arthroscopic, but it's still your knee, and he's had a bunch of stuff. So
it's been,
I'm
I
just
feel
wo-
like
I'm
the
concerned.
tone, not to pile on the negativity, but yeah, like it's not likely that this works. But to this point, it's been, hey, he came out at Twins Fest, and yep, I'm 100% full go center field. And it's like,
Yeah.
either no one has really pushed back at that notion, or everyone just kind of agrees, yeah, let's let him have this for now. Let's let hope sort of be the prevailing feeling, and then we'll see what happens.
And we both been at spring training before. And look, I mean, Byron Buxton is an articulate guy. And when you talk to him in spring training or at Twins Fest, he's always sort of cocky and confident, which is great. I don't expect him not to be, okay? But I'm also not, I think we also have enough experience with him to know that confidence or cockiness shouldn't stop your trepidation from the reality of the poor guy's career.
Yeah, and if you're him, like you almost have to sort of mentally, for
Agreed.
lack of a better word, trick yourself into, yep, this is it. Despite zero evidence over the past, 10 years that I can stay on a baseball field for an entire season. It's got to be a really tough, overwhelming thought if you're him, because you know that if this doesn't work, DHing didn't really work that well last year, and then you're 31 years old. Like, if this doesn't work, do we start to question whether he can keep playing baseball? So
Yes.
I feel like that's kind of where this is at right now.
The answer is yes, unfortunately.
And here you are understanding all of that and circling like a vulture.
Well, you know what? Consider it this. Consider it a reverse prediction.
Okay.
That actually
it's reverse juju is what it is.
I'm hoping it won't come true. So I'm like, if I were to say Byron Buxton's going to hit 40 home runs, that would be, oh boy, by April 15th, he's done for the season.
That should be your new strategy. Just predict.
I'm trying to help. I've done that before.
God, I was just, before I make my final prediction, I was just looking at Brandon Woodruff's stats, and this is where baseball and injury timelines are just absolutely brutal. From 2019 to 2023, Brandon Woodruff was probably one of the best pitchers in baseball. A sub-3 ERA, over 100 starts, ton of strikeouts, great whip, doesn't walk guys. I mean, he still made $21 million in his career, so the guy's not poor by any, but I mean, you talk about a poorly timed injury for life-changing generational money. God, that
he had the surgery, right?
Yeah, he had it already. He's out.
I would rather sign a guy like that than acquire a guy whose arm is hanging by a thread and shows up and tries to throw.
Yeah, you'd like to think if you're getting him right after Tommy John that you've got at least a couple years until the arm is in danger of blowing up again.
Yeah,
it's like a time bomb. You're
but it would be
just at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a long view. It wouldn't help you in 2024 necessarily, but if we're looking at a 3-year window, he'd only be 31 years old. So I like that idea. Okay,
all right, Dex. audible prediction here. Judd, I need you to take your headphones off.
All right.
Taking them off.
And let me mute this.
Yeah,
too,
turn that down. That'd be great.
Okay.
Thank you. I was going to make a Buxton prediction, actually, but Judd has inspired me with his spirit of Anthony Edwards. So write this down. Judd will do a selfie video involving Anthony Edwards needing to sit out the All-Star Skills competition or All-Star Weekend.
Okay.
So the All-Star game, I believe the festivities right at Friday, like the skills comp. I think the game's Sunday. I think it's usually played on a Sunday.
It's Sunday. Yep. It's Sunday.
Judd will do a selfie video involving Anthony Edwards needing to sit out the All-Star Weekend, and I kind of want to. He's humming right now. I kind of want to. I kind of want a backdoor of like, if he does get hurt, he's still gonna hop on and do it. Like he should have sat out.
Yep.
Do you think I can count that?
I would if you wanted to say like a preemptive selfie video strike or an I told you so
or I told
selfie,
you. Okay.
And just put a deadline of like within 48 hours of the All-Star break being over. Okay.
Selfie. Okay.
You can come back in.
You're good now.
Come back in.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah. We appreciated the humming. That's why
the humming.
We were laughing there.
Oh, you could hear it?
It's a great tune. Yep.
Yeah. These microphones do an amazing job when
I thought it muted everything.
Oh
no, I tried to mute, but I didn't mute that. I muted this. I was playing with my bobbleheads and there's Buxton right there. He's coming back.
He's got a prosthetic leg in that bobblehead.
He's coming back.
Okay, write this down. Write this down. Let's go with man. I've got two. I'm going to bump one of these. I'm going to wait one more week on my Timberwolves one. I want to think about it. I have another Timberwolves prediction that I'm not sure I'm ready to go there yet, so I'll save that one. And I will be the first on the show. I don't think Declan has predicted this. Cody Rhodes will indeed finish the story at WrestleMania. By that, I mean he will defeat Roman Reigns for the championship. He will finish the story, Judd.
Oh, man. It looks like, Judd, we're going to get 2 nights of Roman, which is very rare. The man has.
He's only worked like twice all year, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Now we're going to
we're going to get a tag team match most likely in night 1 and probably a solo match with Cody in night 2.
Don't get hurt on night 1 is the biggest priority for Roman.
Yeah. And I was doing more digging on this. I was trying to figure out who's Seth. Like, what is the plan with Seth? Are they just going to do a tag team match and shelve him? What about Sami Zayn versus Seth? And Sami Zayn gets the title at Mania. Seth can get his surgery, take some time off, come back. But I think that actually makes some sense for Sami Zayn to finally get some gold.
When is the announcement coming that it's going to be at US Bank Stadium?
Probably the week of Wrestle. I think that's typically when they do it. I think they do it like WrestleMania. They treat WrestleMania weekend like now Super Bowl week, where it's just media frenziness for.
Is there a Radio
week.
Row? Can we like do our show from?
I don't know. I mean, the fact they decided we're gonna go to the grounds of the Super Bowl to further our own Super Bowl like story in WrestleMania is next level marketing by them.
This is where like getting
damn
the
smart.
old creepy man Vince out and bringing in like actual marketers and entertainers and this UFC parent company. They've already pulled some levers that old creepy Vince never would have even thought of, which is great. So let's do it. Cody, gonna finish that story, and then we're gonna get Judd to WrestleMania in a year from now when it's in Minneapolis.
I can't wait to be sitting ringside with my friends. From the
I'm not sure about ringside, but maybe
I'm not
like
sure about
like
ringside. Yeah.
we'll see.
Where am I gonna
see what the budget?
You know where I'll
is.
be in the
Saving.
football press box.
They do allow media.
That's
You
where
will
I'll
be able to
be.
get a
The
media
football
credit.
press box is where I'll be.
All right, dudes. There's your season premiere of predictions here for the 2024-25. Write that down season. It's Minnesota Sports with Mackey and Judd.